Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have these stunning ink blended floral cards to share with you. So let's jump right in. As always, I am going to cut down my cardstock. That's just how I kind of always start my videos. And I'm going to give these a black matte just because I like that. I always kind of feel like with the colors especially, it just really helps them pop and makes them look finished to me. So that is my preference. You can, of course, skip that step if a matte is not your preference, but I do like that thin layer. So for my black matte, I've cut it down to be about 1/8 of an inch smaller than the A2 base, which is 4¼ by 5½ when scored. And for my white panel, which is where I'm going to do the ink blending, I've cut that down to be about 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I get nice thin borders all the way around. And I am going to cut 4 of these, though I am making 3 cards, and you're going to see why here in a moment. I'm going to make my own stencil, and I have to say, this would be a lot easier if it was like a plastic material, but I don't own a stencil like that. I'm sure that there are some on the market somewhere that give you just a rectangle. But the thing is that I want it to be a certain size to go with a certain floral image that I want to work with. So I tend to just kind of make my own cardstock stencils instead of, purchasing them as a general rule. I go back and forth every once in a while on finding stencil materials to cut these out of so that it would be easier. So far I have not done that, but I've been making more and more of my own stencils, so I might have to look into that. But this is why I cut that 4th one, because I wanted this cardstock stencil to create this rectangle for my ink blending. And I just used a set of stitched rectangle dies to create this. I'll keep the inside stitched piece for a different project. I just keep it with the die set itself. But for now, I just set it aside because I don't need it for this project. I probably would use it in a base if I used a color base or something, which generally I don't, but it's possible. And then for my colors, for this first one, it's an orange palette, which is really interesting. I don't generally get drawn to orange, but it was a really pretty palette. So it's dried marigold, carved pumpkin, and ripe persimmon. And I think that they look stunning together. In the end, I'm pretty sure this was my husband's favorite color palette of the 3. I go back and forth. I think that they all turned out really pretty. And here I left this clip in a little bit longer than I usually would. I would have cut it right after the ink blending, but I had to show you Aqua and how much help she was while I was doing this ink blending, because I know you guys love to see the cats. So I left this in a little bit longer, but I thought it was really, really cute. And I didn't add any splatter to this card design. I know that's surprising because I generally add a bunch of splatter and that kind of stuff, but I didn't. You absolutely could. I just opted to leave the ink blending kind of speaking for itself. And I do add in some white highlights. So, that's kind of how I added in that bit of extra interest, but I didn't add any splattering, which was a little bit surprising. So that's the first blend, and you can see here Aqua's being so much help. She tried to steal my tools a couple of times. I think her face even pops in the corner in a moment just because she could not resist trying to grab. See, I would have ended the clip probably right here, but she's just so cute, and you can see her feet grabbing the card bases in the corner there. I just thought that was pretty adorable. So I did leave that in for you guys, but yeah. I know you love the cats, so I couldn't resist. I love cats too. You guys know, obviously, if you've watched any of my videos, how much I love cats, because we have 6. So I am pretty drawn to the cats, but I thought this was just flippin' adorable. For my second color blend, I went in with Victorian Velvet, Seedless Preserves, and Aged Mahogany. Now, all of the blends I'm doing this video are blends that I don't think I've ever done before. I try really hard to push my inks as far as I can. I try to come up with different color blends if I, can think of something that I want to try. Now, the orange ones make sense because that's how they're lined up in the color palette that Tim Holtz has set out. The other 2 are not that. They're kind of just me attempting to do random colors. Now, I have done Victorian Velvet and Seedless Preserves together before, and then I think my 3rd color was a Villainish Potion in a different design. But Aged Mahogany is a very deep, almost purpley red, and so I wanted to see what it would do. And I did actually create frames for each card. I wasn't going to, but because it's not a material you can clean off, because it's cardstock, I would have had a lot of ink transfer on each of the blends. And to keep your colors vibrant and not muddy, you can't blend your colors, if that makes sense. That's why I have a domed foam for every color. And I mean, I only have like 6 tools, but I have a separate foam for each of my oxides because I don't want the colors to mix on the foam. You can clean them. I find that it doesn't work personally. I've tried. I've never found that to be a good way to keep your colors from being muddy. And so I just find it worth buying the extra dome foams to keep my colors separate. That is how I get the most vibrant colors. And then for my third design, I went with greeny teals here. What is that? Pine needles, I think. For my third one, it's Rustic Wilderness, Mowed Lawn, and Pine Needles. Pine Needles is a very bluish green, so it kind of leans a little bit more teal to me, whereas the other two are more green. So that's why this is kind of fun and a bit of an experiment, because I'm not totally sure what we're gonna get. And you have to keep in mind too, they are gonna dry back. So as vibrant as they are as I put them down, they don't stay that bright. They do fade down, they do dry back a little bit, so you don't quite get that same color, but it's fun to play with different colors. And I mean, you're never gonna go wrong with stamping a floral on top, right? Ideally, it's a floral that has, well, I chose one that had a decent amount of lines in it so that it wasn't a whole bunch of open space, but you could try that instead. I grabbed out my favorite floral. This Tim Holtz stamp set is one of my all-time favorites that he's ever created. I love the florals in it. It is the French Garden stamps you'll see here in a moment. And I just opted to use my scissors to cut the tape. I just got irritated trying to pick it off, so instead I just cut it because I'm not going to keep the cardstock stencil anyways, because it's not, like, I can't really use it again. That is where stencil material would be more useful, but I don't have any on hand, so I have not attempted to do that at this time. But who knows, maybe down the future I'll start making my own stencils. But then I stamped in my favorite floral from that French Garden, and I am going to stamp it twice. You do have to be a little bit aware of the fact that if you're stamping on top of Oxide ink, it does take the black ink a little bit longer to dry. So it's still smudgeable for the first little while. I do it all the time, so I'm just really careful with not touching the ink. So I don't generally wait for things to dry because I do it all the time. But be aware that there is the potential to smudge your black ink at this stage. And I mean, the Oxide isn't completely dry here either. I mean, you just saw me finish ink blending. I tend to do everything like in one sitting because I'm trying to get this project out and ready for you guys. So I don't tend to take days to create cards. I tend to sit down and do them in one sitting. So I don't wait for stuff to dry because I don't got no time for that. And then I brought in one of my favorite sentiments for thank you. I think it says thanks for everything, and it's one of the Simon Says stamps. So it has that really cool mixed font. You guys know I love a mixed font. It just is really interesting to look at, so I tend to really enjoy it. And as always, everything will be linked and listed down below in the description if you're curious about anything. I do try to kind of put them in how you see them or like interest. So usually the stamps, the dies, that stuff's all listed first. Then it's like the cardstocks, then it's the inks, then it's any embellishments or tools. Generally is how I kind of lay it out. So you do maybe have to scroll a little bit, but everything is always there. The only exception is if I've used something that's no longer available, like say this specific thank you stamp is no longer available, I will have something else listed. And here I'm just showing you that I have gone in on the orange one. Now the orange one, it's a little harder to see, but I've added a white highlight to the center and along the top of each of the petals. You can skip this step. It's not completely necessary. However, I do think that that highlight adds just a little bit of something interesting and extra to look at. So definitely a good idea. If you have a steady hand and you want to use some paint, that would work too. Then you would have a little bit less of your ink kind of drying back. I do find with this white gel pen, it does because it's the inks underneath are water-based, right? It will suck in some of that color, so it's not a very vibrant white as it is as I'm using it on the card right here. But that's not a bad thing. It just means that the highlight looks even more intentional because it's even more subtle. So it just depends on what look you're trying for. I mean, I just want the highlight. You could, instead of doing the highlight here, if you wanted to add some splatter, that would add some interest as well. Totally up to you as to how you want to add it. You can even skip both and just leave it alone. I think that this card design is stunning regardless. It's just these little extra things that just give it something more to look at, which is kind of what I aim for. I kind of aim for simple-ish designs that are a little bit elevated, if that makes sense. That's kind of what my style is. So I did just adhere these to their black mat and then to their white card base. You could add foam tape, give them a little more dimension. I didn't in this instance, but you absolutely could. This is a little more straightforward of a card design. And like I said, you could put any larger floral here and I think it would look stunning. You don't have a floral, use a larger leaf. You don't have a leaf, use a feather. Like there's so many things you could change this up for. I would try to grab something that doesn't have a ton of white space or empty space, only because that looks a lot more open. But you know what? If that's what you have, try it and see if you like the design. Because, I'm all about inspiring you guys to use what you have in your stash and create fun things that make you smile. That is the intention. I'm just trying to give you inspiration. If you love any of my cards, they are now listed on the website. You can go and check it out, purchase anything if you want anything. I have had people purchase my cards before just because they wanted to keep them as like pieces of art. So that's obviously also an option. But yeah, you can go check them out. So it's ciaratdesigns.com. And then if you go under the shop option, there is handmade cards. And then they're under there. So you can go check it out. Or there is a link specifically to this card set as well in the description. Now, I could not resist adding pearls. You guys know, if you've been with me for any length of time, pearls to me elevates everything. I love, especially the white pearls, but you could literally add, you could add a couple of different colors here if you wanted to. White kind of to me is the most elegant pearl, but you could switch it up and do some different things if you wanted to. It's just the one that I'm the most drawn to, so I tend to run out of it pretty often. But it is just adds a little bit of something extra and just draws your eye around the card even more. So that is why I tend towards them. And then I will hold them up here so you can see them in all of their glory. I love this card set. I think that they turned out stunning. And again, you could add some splatter. Hopefully you can see the white highlights here and how that just adds that little bit of something extra to the card design, gives it just something more to look at. But yeah, so that is the card design I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday, and of course now I have the vlogs on every other Saturday. We are about to go into some Spooktember cards, and then of course the 12 weeks of Christmas starts in October, so I hope you will stick around. Thank you to my members. You are phenomenal. Thank you to everybody else, and if you made it all the way to the end, leave me your favorite, I don't even know, we're getting out a little low on stuff here. Leave me your favorite smiley face. Why not? Thank you guys, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.